Welcome to the School of the Lost Tribes. Your charity helps generate the lessons needed to seal the chosen before the destruction. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. Deuteronomy 28:23, Yahweh's curse of oppressive heavens and iron bondage. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. Introduction: a dual curse, above and beneath. In Deuteronomy 28:23, Yahweh continues his solemn list of covenantal judgments upon the 12 tribes of Israel. This verse describes a powerful metaphor, the sky above becoming like brass, and the ground below like iron. Yet it is more than a symbol. It is a description of literal conditions that Israelites would suffer under when scattered and enslaved among the nations for their disobedience. The curse was meant to affect every environment in which they lived, spiritually, physically, socially. And in the time of slavery, especially during the 1600s through the 1800s, this verse was fulfilled in terrifying, tangible ways. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass. This part of the curse refers to both spiritual silence and physical oppression. Spiritually, Israel's prayers went unheard. Their cries from the slave ships, the fields, and the prisons rose up, but were not answered. The brass heaven signifies Yahweh's closed ears due to the nation's rebellion. Physically, it reflects the heat and dryness of cursed lands, parched fields, unyielding skies, no rain to bless their labor. In plantations, this meant working all day under the blazing sun, a sun that punished them instead of providing life. But for many slaves, this curse took on an even more literal form, the brass or copper bell placed above their heads, part of the punishment collar. The iron collar and slave bell, brass above the head. To deter rebellion and escape, slave masters used cruel tools. Among the most dehumanizing was the iron punishment collar, fitted around the neck of rebellious or runaway slaves. These collars often had upward iron rods or arches, with a bell made of copper or brass fixed above the head. The bell would ring with every movement, a public alarm to ensure the slave was always heard and seen. These collars were heavy, tight, and caused pain and swelling of the neck and shoulders. This is the literal fulfillment of "Thy heaven shall be brass." For Israelite slaves, the metal was physically suspended above their heads, turning their every movement into shame and exposure. The very heavens rang with humiliation. And the earth that is under thee shall be iron. The earth should be a place of rest, food, and support. But for Israel in judgment, it became a place of crushing weight and bondage. Shackles of iron were placed on the ankles of enslaved Israelites. These shackles were heavy, rusted, and tightly fitted, causing bruises, infections, and long-term deformities. Whether on slave ships, in fields, or in punishment lines, many Israelites walked the earth in chains, unable to run, barely able to move. This was the reality for millions of slaves taken from the West African coasts, many of whom were from the scattered tribes of the northern kingdom of Israel. The curses of Deuteronomy 28 confirmed their identity. They were not Africans, but Israelites, under the weight of Yahweh's judgment. Symbolism and reality, a complete enclosure. Together, the brass above and the iron below paint a picture of total captivity. No escape upward. Heaven was shut. Yahweh was silent. No escape downward. Shackles on their feet. No rest. No ownership of land. The Israelites were trapped between heaven and earth, with metal above their heads and iron beneath their feet. It is the picture of a people enclosed in punishment, Every direction cursed, every step under surveillance. Scattering of the lost tribes, driven into metal bondage. This curse also relates to the scattering of the tribes of Israel. Verse 64 of this same chapter says, Yahweh would scatter Israel among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And wherever the Israelites went, the metal followed them. In the Americas, slaves wore iron shackles and collars. In Caribbean plantations, they labored under sun-drenched skies with bells tied to their necks. Among Native American tribes, those of Israelite descent faced reservation oppression and federal imprisonment, surrounded by armed forts and fencing, another form of metal enclosure. This scattering ensured the curse reached every land. No matter the soil, if the people were Israelite, the earth became iron, and the heaven became brass. Redemption from iron and brass. Yeshua, the liberator. Yahweh did not leave Israel to perish in chains forever. He sent Yeshua, the Messiah, whose mission was to open the heavens and break the iron bonds of his people. Yeshua prayed, and heaven responded, reversing the brass sky. He loosed the bound, healed the crippled, and gave rest to the oppressed, breaking the iron that shackled Israel. He was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel, Matthew 15:24, not the world. Today his call remains the same. Return to Yahweh, obey his commandments, and walk in the covenant so the curse may be lifted. Conclusion: between metal and misery, but not forgotten. Deuteronomy 28:23 is not just symbolic prophecy, it is history in motion. Bells of brass above the heads of enslaved Israelites, shackles of iron on their ankles, prayer denied, land cursed, identity erased, tribes scattered but not lost, just under judgment. The Israelites are known not by prosperity but by the curse, and the tools of slavery prove who we are. But Yeshua has begun the work of restoration. The brass can break, the iron can melt, if we return. Let the house of Israel remember, this is not the end of the story. It is the turning point if we choose to repent.